The music has been absolutely extraordinary tonight, has it not? Have you enjoyed that? I have been enjoying just looking at the faces and hearing your responses, especially when the Orlando Bell Choir was playing over here. I know you were all lined up at the back of the room, ready to join the choir, but the Bell Choir, right? I also heard some of you saying, you know, that Bay Area choir, I think I could sing in that choir. I've heard some of you sing. Maybe Silent Night would be a little better for you. Well, it's all been very helpful for us to perhaps help us to focus our eyes this Christmas season on the light of the world. That's why we've come to this place. I want to tell you a little story. David, can I get some help here? He may cheer for Alabama, but he doesn't play for them. Ooh, and a hush fell on the crowd. You know, it was nothing more than a simple rubber kickball. And the Lord used a kickball, a gift of a kickball, something like this, to bring joy into people's lives. Travel with me. The year was 2008. The place, San Angelo, Texas. It was during those days that the Texas state government had commandeered a campground, a ranch really, that was run by the fundamentalist branch of the Latter-day Saints Church. There was concern about whether there was safety for the children, concern about whether the mothers were safe, and so they took these mothers and children into protective custody, and they put them in a secure compound in San Angelo, Texas. Problem: how are we going to take care of all of these mothers and children? We've got to be able to rely upon somebody that we can trust, because the whole world is watching what is taking place in San Angelo, Texas. Who are you going to call? Being the divisional commander of the Texas division at that time, my phone rang and they said, we want to call upon the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army began to mobilize, and we provided food for these children and these mothers and the necessities that they needed until some plan could be put together as to exactly what would happen. But then as my wife and I were watching these children, it absolutely broke our hearts, because we could see the furrowed brows of fear and apprehension and concern about, you know, what is going on in my life that I've been picked up from out of my home and moved to this strange place in the middle of San Angelo, Texas. Well, the first thing that we needed to do was get them something to play with. So we began to get some toys. There were a lot of restrictions on what toys we could provide. We wanted to remain sensitive to their own beliefs and faith. There were certain colors that they couldn't use. You couldn't use any toy that had a talking animal. You ever try to find a toy for a kid that's not a talking animal? Spoken in a state that's run by a talking mouse? We scrambled around, and I said, you know what? Why don't I just get a kickball? I see the guys that are just playing around. So I went out and I got a kickball. And when I went out into the compound where the children were being held there, all I did was just take this ball and I tossed it to one of them. And they did exactly what he did, started grinning. The furrowed brow that was on their forehead disappeared, and all of a sudden there was a smile. And they began to enjoy themselves once again. Now, why do I share that story with you? It's this time every year that we gather together in events such as this. Perhaps we gather our family around the Christmas tree. We nestle up to the table laden with turkey and all of the stuff that we're going to enjoy eating at Christmas. But we do that for one reason alone: that into this world came a gift. It was a gift in the form of light. That light was the light of men. That light came into the world so that you and I could have forgiveness of sin. You know, the story that I love the most out of the whole Christmas pageant that plays out is the story of the wise men. Those guys over there in the east, they saw the star, they saw the light, and they said, this must be the signal of the arrival of the heralded one. Guys, saddle up the camels, we're going on a road trip. Now you might say to yourself, you know, that's all well and good, but you know, it was a long trip. There was a lot that was involved here. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you some questions this evening. What do you think the wise men saw? The star or how far? Think about that for a moment. They saw the star, they saw the light, they said, surely this must be the heralded one, but they knew that there was also a cost that was involved. Long trip, separated from family, there was going to be expense involved, dusty, dangerous roads that they needed to traverse. But did they worry about the cost of what it might cost them? Absolutely not. They saw a star and they said, you know, we've got to follow that star, no matter what the cost. There's so many people in this world today who we know are struggling with trying to find their way through life. The disappointments, the broken dreams, broken families, whatever it might be. They're just trying to find some hope and some love. And yet the trinkets, the attractions, the stuff of this world, they just can't let go because it might cost them too much to follow where the light is. What did the wise men see? The star or how far? Question 2. What did the wise men see? The Messiah or the manger? Now you got to put yourself in the shoes of these wise men. They go tooling into tooling. That's a southern expression. They arrive into Bethlehem. They're wandering down the streets, and they finally find the manger. The star has led them to the manger, and you know they could have had a couple of different responses. They could have seen the baby and been absolutely frustrated. You mean we came all the way from the east, and this is what we came for? Or perhaps they could have been incensed. Perhaps they came and they saw the baby and they thought to themselves, who in their right mind, these people, how could they allow the heralded one, the one that they had been anticipating for generations, to be born in a stable? But no, that's not what happened. They wandered into that stable. They saw the Messiah, not the menagerie that was all around. They saw the Messiah, and they slipped in and they presented him gifts. Maybe they were the first ones that ever sang the song, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of this world will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory." And his, you know, as we wander through our Christmas experiences, there's a lot that can attract the eyes. The shop till you drop, party till you poop. In the Salvation Army, it's work till you go berserk. I mean, there's just a lot that could take your eyes off what it's all about. But if we could just put that all on hold and look into the manger and see the Messiah. What did the wise men see? The Messiah or the manger? I close. What did the wise men see? Heaven's dream or Satan's scheme? If you remember the way that story plays out, the Lord came to the wise men in a dream. Don't go back to Herod. Satan has put a resolve into his heart that is not good. I love the musician James Taylor. Anybody know who James Taylor is in here? He was here in Atlanta. Listen to me. He was here in Tampa not too long ago. My wife went out, saw James Taylor. He's got a Christmas album, and he sings about those wise men. You know what he says? He sings this. He says, go home by another way. They went home by another way. Maybe you and I can be wise guys too and go home by another way. Satan's always out there. He's got our card on file. It's a lead pipe cinch. If you give an inch, old Satan's going to take a mile. You know, it's awfully easy in this world. When you go out this door, there are people lined up literally around the block, every one of them with a recommendation about how you need to live your life. And yet this little baby came into the manger. He grew up. He ministered. He taught. And he said, you know, I am the light of the world. If you just follow me, you won't walk in darkness, but you will have the light of life. Travel with me back to San Angelo. You got to understand, it was a nutsy place. There was just a lot of stuff that was going on around this compound. There were federal representatives, the police were there, the National Guard was there. There was a lot of stuff going on. And it would be enough to overwhelm these children who had been taken into protective custody. But as we played with the ball, we would kick it around. They would take it and throw it up on the A-frame roof of the cabins that they were staying in. It would roll back down. They would catch it and throw it back. They would just cackle. But then if they looked around and saw all of the craziness that was going on, all of a sudden the furrowed brow would return. The smiles would disappear, and it would be replaced with a frown. But as long as they played with the ball, as long as they kept their eye on the ball, their burdens were lifted. If there was any challenge that I would give to you this Christmas season, keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the ball. What is Christmas all about? For God so loved the world that he gave us this little baby, this little light, this little one that would give his life so that we might have life. How do we keep our eye on the ball? Maybe we all travel together over into the manger scene. Maybe we wander together and we see the light. Look, the ball still wants to play. We see the light. We remember the light. We make the light the central part of our Christmas season. And then we share that light one with another. And as we share, perhaps we sing together. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. And as we begin to experience that in our life and we behold him and we begin to share that light with all of those that we come in contact with, our family members, those who we meet in the marketplace, those who you enjoy being with at the Christmas party at the place where you work, maybe in the playground where you're playing with kids. We help the world to understand that a light came into the world and the darkness was dispelled. As the light is being passed throughout this room, we're going to sing together, Oh, come, all ye faithful. Commissioner, lead us, would you?